This video basically started because of a comment I saw online. This person was saying that it must be nice for me because I live in Denver and I can go to all these off-road shops or camping places and look at the product before I buy it. I thought about it for a while and I thought there's actually a lot of stuff in my bag that's not from a specific off-road shop. Some of this is from a chain store. I basically came up with the idea for this series where I'm going to be going to retail locations pretty much everybody is going to have near them. So I'm going to be pulling from a list I made earlier. I'm going to go and see if I can find all of this stuff. Also for this video, we're really just going to be focusing on stuff you can find in the store because their online store is pretty crazy and you can get pretty much anything. Alright, so first of all, I actually really do like Walmart. They have cheap prices and the stuff that they have is pretty good. You can actually camp there in an emergency and yeah, then you got a bathroom and food if you really need to. Alright, so the first one I'm going to talk about is this action packer. This is something that I use for basically all of my camping and overland gear. It's lockable and yeah, basically I keep it in my truck and then I pull it out when I need to. There's also this smaller one here and I have both of them. But yeah, I have these outside because normally they're sitting in my vehicle, but I need to organize this. It's just gotten basically a huge mess and I really need to clean it out, so I'm about to do that today. But these are really great. Another thing that I'm a huge proponent of are these buddy heaters. I do a lot of winter camping and I've camped down to -5 degrees, and if I didn't have this on me, who knows if I'd actually made it through the night. These are really great and you can run them inside. They're considered indoor safe, so you can run them all night if you want to. I've seen people do videos where they test the carbon monoxide and it seems to be that you can run them all night. There's also the small one, like this here, but it's not as sturdy, so I would just go with the first one. I bought this one first and just kind of noticed it wasn't as sturdy. Along with that, they do sell these propane tanks that do fit on there, and you can also cook with these as well. They have 2-pack and a 4-pack. These get kind of expensive, so you can also buy this little thing here that attaches to a big propane tank and you can refill it. Now, I'm not advising you do this. I do hear a lot of people say that this is dangerous, but I've been doing it for a while and so far it's saved me a ton of money. But you just basically connect it to your big propane tank and fill up your small one. And I saw this for the first time. I'd never really seen this before. 10 bucks, this is a great deal. I usually just shake mine and feel and see how heavy it is and see if it's full, but this would be a lot better way to make sure that your tanks are full before you leave. Also, speaking of cold winter camping, this survival blanket is really great. I use it for emergencies and it's always in my bag. Thinking back on that -5 camping trip, again, I think this and the propane tank really helped save me because it was pretty dang cold. So I have a Coleman sleeping bag. It's not this exact one, but you know, it's pretty much the same brand. I like this one because it's fits you up to 6'5", which I am not, but you know, more leg room. Yeah, again, another one here. I always go for overland camping, I always go for the bigger one because it's not like I'm backpacking. I'm just, you know, kind of throwing it in there. But this is fleece, which is a cheaper alternative to down, but I would say, yeah, I think this is a pretty good one. And 20 to 30 degrees is a really good temperature in the 50s. So this tent is a newer, upgraded version of a tent that I have. I've been pretty happy with it and I've used it for years. I think this has some upgrades like the media pocket, which mine definitely does not have. Yeah, it's pretty okay. I would say it's fine. It's lasted a long time. This is also a packable pillow. Now, it's not exactly the one that I have. I have one that packs down a little bit tighter, but it was also like $40. So I don't know, I like the way this one feels. It seems a little empty to me, but I'm also, you know, I have a pretty expensive one, but it's pretty good. Packs down pretty tight, at least enough for overland camping. If you're a ground camper, this is also a really good one. I used to camp with a cot. In the Boy Scouts, I used this. But yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's comfortable. It's more comfortable than sleeping on the ground. Unless you go with an air mattress or something like that. Now this one is pretty cheap, but it is on the lower end of durability. So if you're gonna be camping on rocks or anything like that and you don't want it deflating, I would say spend the extra money and get this one here. I actually had one very similar to this, if not this very same one, and it wouldn't deflate in the middle of the night. Now there's a little bit of deflation, but it's not like crazy like I've seen with some other ones. Also, again, the stereotypical, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you to get a hammock again. I really like hammocks. I actually used to hammock camp a lot before I got a rooftop tent. But, you know, now that I have a vehicle and I do more overland camping, I don't need my packaging to be small. I just think this is a really great option. So this is a double nest, which is actually what I would recommend. The single nest is good for just kind of hanging out, but a two-person is definitely the way to go. This is the one person here. Again, maybe if you're really small, this would be good, but this would be good for chilling. It's not really good for sleeping in because you can't, the sides don't really go up a lot. But yeah, it's pretty similar to my Eno, and a lot of these brands have gotten pretty good at it now. Now, I actually thought about trying this one a few weeks ago when I was looking at an awning. This could definitely be used as an awning for your overland vehicle, but also like a really good way to cover a hammock or a tent to protect you from rain, or just really a spot to kind of picnic out on like this. As far as tent stakes, I would recommend only the steel or metal ones. This one looks pretty good, $2 there. This anchor twist also looks really good. The metal is really going to be able to pierce down, but this seems really intense. For just 50 cents less, you can get these nail pegs. I actually have pretty much these. I got these at Harbor Freight, but they're pretty much exactly the same, and yeah, I really like those. If you're in a rocky area, just don't use the plastic stuff. It's 88 cents, but the other stuff's $1. Just pay the extra, you know, extra money for it. So I actually have some of these. I'm about to patch my awning because there's a little section that is kind of worn thin, but this is really cool to have as a backup because I have patched my Eno hammock, which was bit by a dog. And yeah, it's held for about 5 years now, so I'm gonna try this on the awning and see if the quality's still there, which it looks exactly like this. I don't see why it would change. This chair I actually have, and I really like it. This was a gift to me. Yeah, it's really quick to set up, and you don't have to be on level ground necessarily. You just kind of set it up like you would a hammock, but it's a little bit more narrow. Now, I'm about 190 at 5'11" and some change, and if you're any wider than me, I would say that's not the way to go. There's also this one that I use. It's pretty standard. It's just a base model one, but it's pretty comfortable. You know, for the price, it's pretty comfortable. I like it. And it packs down like this, which is more water resistant. All right, so this next one is going to be paracord. This is actually paracord. I know in the last video, a lot of you guys made fun of me because I called the rope paracord, but this is really great for a lot of different things on campsites. And you can just tie stuff up. You can use it for awnings. And $6, it's just great to have in your bag at all times. This is the 50-foot one. The other one's the 100. So another thing I keep is this hatchet here. It has a paracord on it, so if it's a real emergency, you could pull it off and use it. It's not crazy sharp, and it's not going to chop down a tree or anything, but I use it to clear branches and stuff like that. It also has these right here. I wish those were like 10 millimeter and 13 instead of that, but you know, it works. Also, you know, this shovel, you know, a lot of companies make these. They're fine. I have one, and I've had it for a few years, and it's lasted pretty well. It's pretty scratched up, you can see, but I use it a lot. It's a great way to put out fires with some, you know, dirt and water. But yeah, it's good to have, and it folds down pretty small. Also, I keep these as a backup for lighting fires. I usually use a lighter, but these are great if it's really snowy or rainy because they can light in the rain. This fire starter thing here, just in case I can't start a fire. I've not had to use this very much, but it's good to have as a backup. And if you want to start a fire the old-fashioned way, you can go with one of these. I had these when I was younger, but I honestly, it's just not worth it to me. If you're a backpacker, maybe go with that. Now this one kind of reminds me of the Silky Big Boy, which I absolutely hate that name. I don't know why they named it that. It sounds like some kind of weird thing, but it's a pretty good backup saw. I haven't tested this one, so I cannot say that I recommend it or not. If you have, let everybody know in the comments, but you know, it looks okay. Now, this is something that everybody should have in their truck regardless of camping or anything. You should always have first aid kit in your car. This one is a little bit smaller than the other one, but this is the same size that I have. It's pretty good, and it has all this stuff here. Or you could also go with this bigger one. This has 265 pieces, so it's a little bit bigger, and it doesn't really take up much more room. Although I do like the other one because you could probably put it in a lot more places. As far as water goes, this is something that I use a lot of. I really like this one, and I've had one for a long time. It's 5 gallons. It's a little cube, and it packs up pretty nice once you're done with it. Yeah, you can see this one's definitely gotten some use out of it, but yeah, it packs down pretty tight. There's also this one that I got at Walmart. This one also packs down, but it's just kind of a different size. Now this one I've had for a while now, and I mean, it's got some flaws where I basically had to tape the little plug in because it didn't stay, and it sloshes around a lot. It'll work, and it's supposed to be like a jerry can, but it's okay. Now, I do really like cast iron. This one looks okay, but I don't know, it just feels kind of weird. It's probably good if you just need one and you're new to it, but I would much rather go with this a little bit more expensive one, this Lodge. These are made to last a long time, and yeah, they're pretty good. I actually cook with these all the time. This is how I cook at camp. I just pop it on a fire like this, and you know, here you see I just got done cooking and, you know, letting it cool off, but it's really, really my favorite way to cook at a campsite. I did used to use this one here. It's okay. That's what I can say about it. It's fine. It took me like a long time to cook a burger one time, and I just said enough of that, but it's okay. So these are the canisters that actually go to this stove and a few other stoves that Walmart carries. Also, this table I got at Walmart as well. I'm starting to realize that I have actually a ton of stuff from there, but this is pretty comparable to the REI one for about half the price. I did mention this one in my budget overland video from last year. If you really need wine glasses, you can grab these, but come on. Yeah, I use these ones. They're really good. I actually used to use these in my house, which is really ghetto. Yeah, it's good. It's a spork, spoon, fork, and a little knife right there. They're really great and they're easy to clean. I really like them. I recommend everybody grab these. This is also really cool. I like this as well. It's basically kind of a strainer and also a place to put cups. You can boil water in it and keep your cups in there. It's got, you know, measuring on the side, but it's pretty great. I really like this one a lot, and I use this every single time I camp. There's also this one as well. I don't use this one as much, but yeah, you can see I've used it and it's got some use out of it, and it works really, really well. I used to have one very similar to this. I cannot remember if it was Ozark, but I really liked this as well. It's more of a backpacking thing though. And this is kind of a trick I use. These little plates right here, you know, they're not really particularly very strong or anything like that, but 4 plates for pretty cheap, and if you lose them, you lose them. Oh well. These oatmeals are really great. I like these a lot. I keep these as an emergency in my thing just in case food goes bad or something like that. I did a review on these before, but they cook themselves. They're really good. Again, this light switch. I don't know why this is everywhere. Every company seems to have these, but I don't know. Maybe you can use them in your rear storage or something like that. Now this one I've never personally tried, but it has a lifetime warranty, so I think it is worth a try. I have a really solid one myself, but if I didn't have that one, I would probably go with this. It's 450 lumens, which is, you know, pretty decent, and it's got a wide angle. You can use these rechargeable ones is what I would use, just because that's personally what I like. Just like in the last one, there's this kind of light like this, which 390 is pretty decent. You know, you'll be able to see 400 feet with it, and also this has a lifetime warranty. You can twist to focus it, make it a spot or a flood. But yeah, it's got a pretty good light, pretty good cutoff point, and if I needed one right now, I think this would be a pretty good option. Now there's also this Lucy light here, which I have some stuff from Lucy, but I don't have this one itself. It's 40 lumens. It's probably more of a tent light than anything, but you can hang it on stuff. 40 lumens is not crazy, but it's made by the same brand as these, and I love these a lot. I recommend those as well, but they don't have that at Walmart. Walkie-talkies. I use ham a lot of the time, but I prefer these. They're just not as noisy as ham radio. If you're not licensed or anything like that, this is a really good way to go. But it's got a 16-mile range is what they claim. It's what they claim on a lot of them, but I think it's more like a mile when you're on flat land. So I actually have this knife somewhere in my house. I like it. I was gonna pull it out to show you, but it's pretty decent. It's not gonna be super nice for how cheap it is. Now, I keep seeing this one and I keep seeing people trying this out, and people I know that have tried it really like it. It might be kind of nice. People seem to keep this in their wallet, but I'm just worried I'm gonna try to pull out my card and end up cutting myself. It's made in China, you know, kind of what you expect. There's also these Gerber knives, which Gerber used to hold a lot of weight, but I think now it's maybe not as great. Grab a poncho, just always keep that in there, just like a first aid kit. You never know when it's gonna rain, so, you know, just grab one. So I actually couldn't find that much off-road stuff, but I did find this here, which I thought was crazy. It looks just like the Baja lights, not so much those, but these two LEDs look just like the Bajas, and it's pretty crazy. I actually know somebody that's running this. I put out a little thing on Instagram to check. Asian Taco here has tried it, and he said he really likes it. He also said that it's really easy to install, pretty cheap and high quality, very affordable. So it comes recommended from one person, but I would like to try it myself someday. There's also tons of off-road lights that I don't have time to try, but they look okay, you know. They're kind of like nightlight lights. They're all, you know, cheaply made, IP67. My nightlights are IP67 and I submerged them for a long time and they worked. Also, I always recommend these mirrors. I'm sure you guys are tired of me talking about these, but I recommend these for everybody. It just is a great assurance that you have your blind spot covered. So I don't know why you wouldn't buy this. So yeah, again, booster cables. I would grab either the 4 gauge, like this one here, but it's best to grab the 2 gauge, which is a little bit better. It's probably the best way to go. To check your tires, this is a really good one. This one I actually used to have. So one big thing about like overlanding, camping, stuff like that is you need a way to organize stuff. I wouldn't go for this first, but this is probably pretty good. Just understand that this does have a 6,300 pound working limit. So if you have a heavier vehicle, maybe this isn't the way to go. Working limit is 1/3 of braking limit, but that still doesn't mean that you should push that. So I always see these and I think about getting them because it's really great if you're trying to get level at a campsite. I'm pretty sure these are made so that RVs can do it, but right now I use these Vic Off-Road traction boards to get level, which I use for other things. And this tire plug kit, this is really good to have as a backup. I have this as well. I actually ended up grabbing some of these microfiber towels. They're really good. And I actually ended up grabbing a big pack of these on my way out because I need to clean my vehicle. So guys, I was able to find pretty much everything I set out to find. If you live in a town where there's no outdoor gear shops, then you could actually check out some local places. Aren't gonna have locally made products, so if you really want to like buy US made, probably not the place to find it. But yeah, it's definitely an option and you can try things out and return them if you don't like them. It's not gonna be US made, it's not gonna be local, but it's gonna be stuff that you can use. That being said, guys, if I missed anything, I apologize, but yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, hit a like below. If you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.